you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody. Yes, I'm hurt, yes, I'm dead. Most things that I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you change.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Taylor XO, or welcome to Taylor XO if you're a new subscriber. So you guys know what happened on these YouTube streets today, and if you haven't, then it's best you continue to watch this video because we are going to get into it. So as you guys know, Liv and Jazzy have been, trying to play this fake best friends on these YouTube streets for the last few months now. And a lot of people were speculating that, a falling out was bound to happen between Liv and Jazzy, just the way that they became friends and the history behind them being friends, how Liv called CPS on Jazzy and, Jazzy befriending Liv and, kind of hanging with Chrissy and Ming and kind of going against Liv with Chrissy and Ming. So, a lot of people were very shocked and surprised when they tried to come on these YouTube streets and play like they're the best of friends. And we know that Liv is a very fake best friend or a friend in general. And we know that Jazzy is very, very desperate for some type of friend. So we know that, Jazzy will put up with whatever and, just, I guess, still call these females her friends on this YouTube stuff. So you guys remember when Liv called CPS on Jazzy. And, I would say that I know if a bitch ever called CPS on me and my kids, I know that I would never, ever be friends with that person again, especially when a female gets that grimy to go that far when, calling CPS on somebody is potentially asking their kids to be taken away from them. And, when CPS does take kids, the case is ongoing for a while and, who knows what ends up happening. But I know me personally, I can never be friends with somebody who called CPS on me, but that's Jazzy. But let's get into the timeline of how this all started, because this honestly unfolded on these YouTube streets in a matter of a couple days, the whole situation, how it started up. Now, I really don't know if Liv and Jazzy or what type of friendship they had before this all happened, but they haven't really collabed together. They're both in Texas currently, and they have never, met up with each other or linked up. The last time they were together was when Liv was pregnant, right before she ended up having the baby. So it's been quite a while since they have seen each other. And like I said, you would think if they are so-called besties that they would, collab more. They both have YouTube channels. They're both in Texas. They both have, a decent amount of kids. So it is kind of weird how they never meet up or they never, just do anything together. If you so-called claim that this is your best friend, kind of weird how they don't meet up and they don't, do more things on YouTube together, because we all know that people do collabs with each other on YouTube. It is a thing. And we all know that, they've done it in the past with Ming and Chrissy. So why they wouldn't do it now? But so let's get into this whole situation, because a few days ago there was a certain reactor. I'm not going to name reactors in specific in this video. So if you are watching this video and you do know what's going on, I'm pretty sure you have already seen the live of one of the reactors. She is a fairly new reactor, and I have watched her a few times, and she was doing a live where she was, kind of, let's just say, in Jazzy's favor, and she was kind of, taking up for Jazzy and, explaining why other reactors go so hard on Jazzy. And, it was just kind of weird because most of the reactions on Jazzy, are calling out her bad mothering, keeping and taking care of a bum in her home. A lot of the times, most of the things that people say are things that she does as a mother that are just downright terrible and neglectful and abusive. But, this time the reactor decided to look at it at a different point of view. So as the live was going, it was about a 7-hour live. Jazzy decided to call in and Chris. And it was kind of weird because we know that, Jazzy doesn't really call into reactors who aren't on her side. So of course she was going to call into the reactor that was on her side. But they started talking, and I guess people started going in on Liv in the chat. Now, I went back, and if you guys want to, you guys can go back. I didn't hear Liv specifically call up. Now, I think Liv did call up and troll, but I did not hear Liv call up. But people were in the chat calling her fat and calling her names while Jazzy was on the panel. Now, I did hear that Chris was laughing at people calling Liv fat, and, Jazzy wasn't saying a word. She was keeping quiet. And, a lot of people will say, well, if you have people in the chat, talking down on your bestie, calling her fat, calling her this, calling her that, you would think that, she would defend her. She was on the panel while it was happening. But we all know that Jazzy doesn't like to be the bad guy, and she likes to string along with whatever people say to her, or she wants to make herself seem like she is the innocent person in the situation. She wants sympathy. So she didn't say anything, and I honestly think she didn't, because she didn't want people to switch on her and start, getting on her also. She kind of wanted to keep the whole vibe of people taking up for her and not, talking about Liv, because we all know that at the end of the day, Jazzy may be friends with Liv, but I think Jazzy could care less if people say things about Liv, because she is, so talked down on negatively on this app. And, not that people say it being mean to her, it's the truth. And whatever people do say about her mothering, about taking care of a bum, she knows it's true. And, for that, she didn't want people to switch the narrative and start speaking down on her. So she kind of just kept quiet and had people still speaking on Liv while she was trying to, keep it, everybody talking good on her. So we all know that none of these girls are truly best friends, and, they have each other's best interests. We know that if a chance came about, they would start running each other's business, which may end up happening. And after, all this stuff went down today, I truly think that Jazzy is trying to hurry up and be friends with her again, because she doesn't want her business exposed. But after that whole live, Liv had ended up going live about a day or two after that. And the title of her live was No More Fake-ish in 2023. Now, I was going to include some clips of it in here, but she really wasn't directing anything towards Jazzy, although we know by the title and her just simply being mad was, obviously her speaking on Jazzy, or her trying to reference it to Jazzy. She just didn't want to come out and say it. But people were also saying that while she was live, she suddenly had deleted all the mods, and Jazzy was in the chat trying to get her attention, saying, Liv, text me back. I don't have the specific screenshots of it, but if you guys want to rerun that and see that, you can. But, I guess Jazzy was in live and she was completely ignoring her, and she unmodded everybody. And I honestly think because Liv is so scary, Liv is the type to where she will talk a big game, but she does not want confrontation. She doesn't like doing all that going back and forth. She may say she does, but she doesn't. She likes to just talk her shit in peace, and then when somebody comes for her, act like she's the victim. But we know that Liv didn't accidentally unmod anybody like she claims she did, or she didn't unmod just Jazzy because she didn't want Jazzy to figure out that it was just Jazzy. So she had to be so fake and scary and unmod all her mods, who, a lot of those mods, especially Carol, have done a lot for her. So I truly think that that's very, weird and very rude to your subscribers who have been there since day one, to just unmod specifically Jazzy and keep the rest of the people on there. So that was right there where I'm just like, okay, this girl, sis, I know I can understand you being scared of everybody else, but the fact that you're acting so scary over Jazzy just tells right there that you are one scary ass female. And that's why me personally, I keep my distance with females, because see, once you get into this phase where you start getting, falling out with a female and the whole beginning of it starts, it just spirals after that. It snowballs, and it just turns into this thing where you got this one trying to run this one's business, and everybody's telling everybody's secrets, and, telling everybody a relationship business. Oh, her baby dad's doing this. Oh, she's a terrible mother. It just turns into, so much more than it needs to be. So that's why I keep my distance personally, but I can't speak for everybody else and what they do as friends, or, so after Liv did that live, a lot of people were basically chalking it up to Liv was talking about Jazzy, and people were saying that this is the start of their big fallout. And a lot of people, like I said, have been waiting for it, but, you know, they just didn't know what was going on behind the scenes with Liv and Jazzy. So now that everybody knows, we're just waiting on the big fallout of them to start, running each other's business, telling it all. Because I'm sure Jazzy was over there confiding in Liv in some things that she probably didn't want to bring to the internet. That's her only friend. And Liv's over there going through some stuff herself. So I do think that, she possibly could have confided in some things with Liv that she didn't want to get out. But that's her problem at the end of the day. That's why you just don't run your business to people, whether they claim they're your best friend or not. But after a few days of Liv doing this live, Jazzy hopped on live and she basically had a few things to say about Liv and this whole situation. Now, me personally, I didn't think that this girl was going to come online and cry about it, but she did have a few things to say, so let's get into it.
Here's what I'm saying. So I'm kind of just like, I feel bad, I feel like I wasn't a friend to her. Oh my God, yeah, see, I'm about to start crying. For me. And I can come on here and just like honestly say that I should have went harder. I didn't go as hard because I felt like, when I say hard, I mean like I didn't go as hard because I felt like, sometimes when I go too hard, I get angry. I get real angry because I feel like they're not letting me get my point across, especially when people are talking over you. You know what I'm saying? And especially I feel like it's like almost talking on the phone. I hate talking like on the phone or in the chat, arguing on the phone or in the chat. So that's kind of what I was getting from that. I'm at more of a in-person type thing, like, because I can really get your attention, like, so you can really feel me, you know what I'm saying? But I should have tried. Olivia goes through a lot that a lot of people don't know. I'm gonna cry because I feel so, I don't know, I finally got it out of her to talk to me. Like, we talked, but I just finally got it out. As far as, because I said, Olivia, like, if you're feeling any type of way about anything, just tell me. Like, I needed to know. I needed that. I don't want to hear from someone else about something, or, I needed that validation as far as everything. And I wasn't coming on there trying to say that her kids are her trigger, as if like they're her trigger to get mad. I'm saying like that's something that we just don't play with, We don't play with our kids. And I know, because I know personally, I can speak for myself, that when people speak on my kids, it fucks me up. You know what I'm saying? It makes me mad. It makes me want to fight. So I wasn't saying like, oh, they're her trigger, to try to make it seem like that's what's going to mentally mess her up or something like that. I was not trying to say it like that. And, I couldn't really hear everything on the panel as far as what was saying, but, I spoke with her, and, Olivia is a good ass fucking mom. I'm sorry, my nose just keep running. She's a good fucking mom. She does everything that she can for her kids. There's so much that y'all don't see, that y'all.
So she came on live and she started crying and pouring her heart out to Liv and saying that she was so very sorry for not defending her, and she didn't understand why people were trying to lie on her and say that, she wasn't trying to speak on her when all she was doing was simply just saying quiet because people were speaking over her. Now, sis, I will say that you have never came on this app and had that energy for your own children. You've never cried over anything that had to do with your children. People speaking on your children, supposedly, that you say, calling them ugly, dirty, or patches, or talking about your baby that you so-called say that people do. You have never came on there and had that energy for any of your kids. Even the recent situation of people saying that Amaya had something on her tongue due to some type of assault. Even that you didn't even come on here and have all this energy for. Now, you would think after people supposedly calling your kids' school repeatedly, calling CPS on you, potentially having these kids took out of your care, and you still have came on here and never shed not one tear. In fact, you were grinning from ear to ear. You didn't even seem, sad or upset. But for a grown woman on here who is, just a friend of yours, not your children, not your mother, not nothing. And that's another thing. Even your own mother, you didn't have this energy for. You came on here and, in fact, cussed at her and cussed her out and basically told her that you didn't care, that this is your channel, and you were embarrassed for your mother coming on here speaking on a situation between you and your bum baby daddy. But then you come on here for a grown woman that doesn't even care about you, does not have the same energy as you, would never, ever go live and address something that has anything to do with you unless she was talking about you. You come on here and act so distraught, and like your life has now been turned upside down because this girl will not pick up your phone calls and answer your texts. And I guess I'm chalking it up to Liv has ignored her since that whole thing happened. So she hasn't been able to get a hold of her. So her way of getting a hold of her was going online and making a video called I Apologize. And this was like 8:30 in the morning, sis. Like, you're just getting straight up out of bed and just hopping on live and crying about another grown-ass woman that's probably sitting on her butt watching TV and feeding her child, or laying in bed sleep while you're just so just distraught and upset. It really was given like stalker vibes, or you're just obsessed with this girl, or you're just like that obsessed for a friend. Because I really don't understand what would cause you to be so upset. Now, people were saying, like, does Liv know something that she doesn't want to get out? So she's trying to do all this and trying to get some sympathy from her so she doesn't expose, possibly what Jazzy could have told her during their friendship recently. So who knows? I mean, the situation has just started. We will see how this plays out, but I really don't think it's going to play out good. And even Ming had hopped on Instagram and had some stuff to say about Jazzy. So let's get into that also. So Ming had also hopped on Instagram last night, and she said, "I wish a bitch would sit on a live panel full of bitches bashing me and not defend me. Damn bestie, yikes, once a snake, always a snake." So obviously, Ming probably knows a little bit more of the behind the scenes and what really has been going on. I mean, I've even heard that Ming and Jazzy, Liv and Jazzy were behind the scenes trying to be friends with Ming and Chrissy behind each other's back, but who knows how that fell through. I do not know. The way these YouTube streets usually go, who knows if they're all friends together behind the scenes and they're just not coming on to say it. But I will say that, Jazzy sis, nobody has any sympathy for you. Nobody truly cares at the end of the day, because you come on here and you do what you do with your children and that bum. And at the end of the day, that will always be a reason for people to speak the truth on this girl and expose this girl for the person that she truly is, and how grimy she is towards her children, how she will ride so hard or go so hard for a man and a friend, but she will never ever have that energy for her own children. So sis, until you just try to get in your head that until you come on here and do right by your kids and get that bum out of your house and just do right all around, people do not care about this sympathy thing that you try to come on here and do. People do not care, and they will say what they want, because this is YouTube and this is, a free space to, speak how you truly feel about certain things. And most of the time, a lot of these YouTubers who know they do wrong, they turn their comments off, or, they try to hide and, silence the people who truly know what's going on. But, the people who, if you know, I'll just basically say that. If you know, and that's why the reactors are here, to give people that space to speak on the truth and speak on what they see, and, expose these YouTubers for who they really are, and, not who they tried to portray on this internet stuff. So I will keep you guys updated if anything more goes down on these YouTube streets. But you guys stay tuned for the shit show that's about to happen, because y'all know, it just goes from here and never ends up getting better. It just gets worse. So comment down below what you guys think of this whole Liv and Jazzy thing of no longer being friends. I love hearing you guys' thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for another one.
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be